I wanted to talk about Alex Newhook, the player who, in my opinion, was snubbed for an Ivan Hlinka spot and who is going to be a top talent in the 2019 NHL Entry Draft. Alex Newhook is a center, playing for the Victoria Grizzlies in the BCHL. For those of you that don't know, that is British Columbia's faction of Canada's Junior A hockey system. And the reason we're talking about Newhook today instead of any of these other guys, I could have talked about Doc, Krebs, Suzuki, Cam York, Turcotte, any one of these players. But I've already made videos about Capo Caco, as well as a few select videos about Jack Hughes. I wanted to talk about Newhook here because I really think that he has the potential to be one of the better talents coming out of this draft class. And that might not be super obvious if you look at what he's been doing in the BCHL and just the numbers in general. But let me tell you this. Newhook playing in the BCHL was one of the best players in the league. In his BCHL season this year, he grabbed himself 66 points and 22 goals in 45 total BCHL games. And that might not seem too spectacular at first, because you're looking at this, okay, it's the BCHL, it's Junior A hockey, this is just above a point per game, what's so special about this? Well, it's the fact that he was basically a top 2 scorer in Canada's best Junior A circuit, according to this article here on the Hockey News magazine from a few months ago. The thing is, he had a wrist injury that definitely did hinder his performance proceeding through the season. And it's interesting to note because Newhook is a guy who just finished up his draft -1 year, and this draft -1 year is the year that we just talked about, 66 points in 45 games. Well, if you want to go to the closest comparable in regards to playing style, player type, and overall league, the best case to look is Tyson Jost, who in his draft -1 year with the Penticton Vs posted himself 45 points in 46 games. Yeah, that's right. Newhook, in the same amount of games played as Tyson Jost in their draft -1 years, grabbed himself 20 more points. And Newhook is only looking to be getting better. He's a player who, quoted by the Victoria Grizzlies coach, has exceptional speed and thinks the game well. At times, he's too quick for everyone else. And this is why the Hockey News had Newhook ranked as a top 2 talent in the 2019 draft. In their mock draft, they have themselves Jack Hughes at number 1 and Newhook at number 2. Granted, this is the Future Watch 2018 edition of the magazine, so it is a little bit old, but they have Newhook above Doc, Krebs, Suzuki, and Turcotte. This is really interesting to look at, and in my opinion, this definitely does show, along with the highlight packages, which we'll get to in a minute, the fact that Newhook definitely is a player who I believe was snubbed for the Hlinka. And he definitely was a player who had a strong showcasing at the whole prelims and all that, and I know for certain that I'm not the only one who's surprised at the fact that Newhook didn't make Team Canada. And it's because his coach is right. The biggest thing about Newhook, supporting the idea that he is 5'11", 183 pounds, is his speed. Watch his highlight packs out there. Watch him when he's out there on the ice and he doesn't have the puck. He's always reading the play. And when he sees something that he's able to catch onto, he strikes. He's like a shark, in that he's always weaving through the play, seeing what's available, and then when he sees something, there you go, he jumps right in there and he breaks it in. He does a great job at setting guys up and driving himself to the net. He's fast, and he thinks the game really well. Newhook got himself 20 more points than Jost in their draft -1 years for a reason. And Newhook has all the opportunities here. He could go over to the Victoria Grizzlies, going over into 2018-19. He could go over to the USHL, wherein the Lincoln Stars have his rights, or he could go over to the QMJHL, where the Halifax Mooseheads, I believe, also have his rights. He's got a ton of options here, but things are kind of a little bit different for Newhook as the draft comes along, because he is going to go to Boston College for 2019-20. He's already confirmed it, and he's committed to the school. He's not going to play in the NHL in his draft +1 year because he's going to college. So, any team that drafts Newhook, they've got a guy who's got a ton of potential. Absolutely, ton of elite potential within this player. But they shouldn't expect an immediate impact because he will be going off to college and literally just like Tyson Jost, will be spending his draft +1 year in the NCAA. So, Overall, Newhook is a player who definitely does project to be better than the Colorado Avalanche pick back in 2016. And remember, that Colorado Avalanche pick was taken 10th overall. Newhook is a guy who's been snubbed from a few lists. Button doesn't have him in his top 5 anymore because of the really outstandingly great performances by guys like Broberg and Podkolzin in the Hlinka tournaments. But Newhook is definitely not a guy that you should count out, because playing on a Victoria Grizzlies team that was one of the better offensive teams in the BCHL last year, and a team that lost in the division finals, he's got a ton more to set himself out to accomplishing. And I can't wait to see that. Newhook is a guy that demonstrates all the offensive capabilities that a top-line center in the NHL should and probably would possess. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're plus, this was Gaming, and bye.